Where there's a human face, where there's animals, where there's...
It's like a totem. It really is. Wow.
This was actually the very first one that I saw.
What do you think about this?
I had chills. I mean, I literally had chills when I saw that face. When you see a landscape and then you all of a sudden see a face in front of you, that's kind of like, oh, what's going on?
If you're within the sound of my voice, you are listening to or watching the Sterling Spin podcast. I'm Liz Sterling. And today and every day that we get together in this studio and you watch this show, you are going to get a new spin on living your best life. And I will offer, and my guests will offer you, some tools and tips and solutions for your well-being. I'm so grateful that you're here. And now today's program. With me in the studio is Aldo Johnson. I invited him because I recognize that he's an artist. I had the privilege of being in front of his camera when he took my photo shoot, which thank you so much. You were like, wow, you've got a great eye.
Thank you.
He's also a photographer, so you could see one of his photos. He's brought a few into the studio. We'll talk about those in a minute. He's a companion home provider. So he's opened up his home and his heart to help those who have disabilities and to be able to help them have their voice be heard and be cared for. And also, and this I'm the most impressed with, is you're like a student of life. You want to learn every day. And media is an area where you've been practicing and playing and participating. You've been behind the camera and you've put other people in front of the camera. And I'm very impressed at watching you work. So Aldo Johnson, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Liz.
I happened to notice right before we started, you have a great voice.
Thank you.
Has anybody ever told you that? You want to be at voiceover work.
Yes. A lot of people have mentioned that, yes, along the way. So, yes.
Yes.
And I can sing, but we'll discuss that at a different point.
I had a feeling that you were going to say that. First time behind the mic and in front of the cameras for a podcast?
Yes.
So this is interview number one.
Interview number one.
Well, thank you for being here. You seem calm and cool and collected. Is that your normal style?
That's normally who I am.
How is it that, like, you are chill?
I don't know. I've had a great upbringing and great parents and just great family, and it starts from there. Once you have a good base, everything else just falls into place.
You didn't use the word, but I would say you felt safe.
Oh, yes.
Growing up.
Always felt safe.
And when you feel safe, you can, like, sit in yourself and you can be okay to do the things that come naturally.
100%.
And you don't have to, like, do a dance and try and make people happy.
No.
Which is something that I bet some of our listeners, they know how to do dance, try and make people happy so that they can feel safe. And that's something that you are blessed to have. I do know when I asked you to answer some questions before we got on the air, you told me that you experienced death among relatives at a young age, and it really set a tone for you to have a certain perspective about life. Would you share that with us?
Yes. When I was a kid, my 2-year-old cousin passed, and I think I was around 5 or 6 at the time myself. So I was young, and I still remember it, but I don't recognize it. Then later on, had my grandfather pass, uncle pass. So it was like, okay, it's a part of life. We celebrate when they are here. We need to celebrate when they are gone. It's sad that they're not here with us anymore, but we still need to remember the good times that we had with them. And that's what you said.
You like focus, instead of focusing on the loss, you like to focus on the gain.
Yeah.
and your takeaways and what you carry with you.
We had them a part of our life for however many years.
Right.
Some were good, some were bad. We always harp on the bad side of things.
People tend to do that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we get a lot more negative messages a day than we do positive ones. So
Always. So
that's
I
how
try
we're ingrained.
I try to focus on the positives that I have with that person.
And your grandmother, I think her name was Rose, your grandmother, or someone, her name, Rachel Ellis. You said, quote, she was nothing but love before she died. She passed the love on to me.
Yes. I met her daughter. She ended up being my best friend and in the 8th grade. We're still friends to this day. And I'm 51. Sorry, excuse me, 52. So it's been many years. November, yes. Friends for many years. Her mother was literally the lunchroom lady, but she took the money from us every day, so we saw her every day.
Interacted.
Yes, and her mom was the best person. She accepted you for you. She let you be you, no matter who you were, even if you were an asshole. She let you be you, and she didn't try to change you. She didn't try to put you down. She just accepted you for who you were.
That's called unconditional love.
Yes.
There's very few people who really feel that they experienced unconditional love in their lives, where somebody wasn't trying to put their own agenda on them or influence or try and get you to behave the way they want you to behave. You really observed someone who accepted you just the way you were.
Yes.
And others who now maybe you felt that they should have been, I don't know, modified or criticized or changed the way they look. Did you ever feel that about anyone?
Of course, but that's not my place to tell them they need to change.
Right.
It's up to them to discover they need to change. We can say this and say that, but it's ultimately up to that person to make a serious change in their life and do what needs to be done for them.
So you are the provider to an adult who has a developmental disability?
Yes.
And how did that happen for you? How did you get involved in that? And what's it like?
It's never a dull day with this young man. He's very creative, loves music, loves to create music, loves drawing, loves making videos, loves just being a creative person. He's also very stubborn. It's fun, but in the same token, it's like one of those.
I would imagine that somebody who's listening to the show or watching right now is also dealing with someone who's stubborn. So how do you work with stubbornness when you meet it?
You gotta let them be them, and just talk to them, and just express your side of the story, and also allow them to express their side of the story, so that we can come together somewhere and make this thing work.
So there has to be some compromising.
Some kind of meeting ground.
One person's point of view, another person's point of view, and then you'll meet somewhere. And that's your goal and that's your intention.
Yes.
So fair is fair is fair.
Exactly.
You believe in fairness. Where does that come from? Did you ever feel like life didn't treat you or people you know fairly?
Of course.
I mean, of course. That's ridiculous for me to say, did you ever?
You can look at me and people just assume that I'm a certain way. And without getting to know me, that's their loss.
Wow. You
So
say that very well.
Yes, it's their loss. If they don't want to take the time to get to know me just to go off the way I look, oh well.
So if they're going to judge you, they lose because
Yes.
they don't get to connect with you.
Exactly.
And you, to me, have a heart. It's like a very big heart and that you care. And so in life, a lot of people protect their hearts because they've been hurt. And they don't want to get hurt again. So it's like, no, I'm not going to let you too close. Do you have boundaries?
Oh, yes.
And where did your boundaries come from and how do you work with them?
Just living life and discovering what feels right for you, or what feels right for me. I'm a Sagittarius.
Me too.
Good.
Yeah.
And at times,
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah, when we get angry, we have a mouth. And
Yeah.
I discovered that early on. And I don't want anyone to feel bad about the things that I say about them.
Right.
But there's always something that but you still have to express yourself.
Yes, you do.
You still have to let your feelings be known. There is a good way of letting your feelings be known and a shitty way of letting your feelings be known. I always try to let it be known the right way.
You make me laugh. You're like,
So-
there's a shitty way to let your feelings be known.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, and
You can
it.
just let it out and just say,
Yeah,
excuse me,
we won't say
fuck
that.
this person, however they feel, they feel.
Right.
I'm getting this off of me.
Right.
You can still get your stuff off your chest, and also express respectfully
Right.
to someone else
As we
how they make you
grow
feel.
up every day,
Mm-hmm.
we do learn how to manage. I mean, I do. I learn how to manage myself. I learn how to monitor myself. I learn how to
Self-reflect.
self-reflect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to let everything out. And there's a difference between what I think and what I say. I can have the thoughts. They
Yes.
don't hurt anyone.
Nope.
But if I'm going to say it, I'm going to do my best to say it as best as I can. So it sounds like you've become a very wise man.
It's just over the years, just learning and reflecting over myself.
So you like to learn. And I understand you're actually making jewelry now.
Yes.
And you have some photographs that you've brought into the studio.
Yes, I do.
And I find it really interesting. You said you're 52 years old. And I've learned that you're learning how to edit. And thank you, because you're helping us with the show. And you've been behind the cameras at an event that we went to on Saturday night. And I saw you behind the camera. And I saw you taking
What was
pictures.
it? Saturday Night Live in Longmont.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it was really cool. So are you hungry to learn? Do you want to learn? What is all of this learning new things, trying everything?
Yeah, well, once again, Sagittarius, we learn to love. I'm sorry, we love to learn.
And
So,
we
yes.
learn to love too. We just discovered that as well. We do. I just want everyone to know we're having a little love fest here. And my guest is Aldo Johnson. And he is an artist and he is a learner. He's somebody who's curious. He's got a big, warm heart. He's a photographer. And he's also a companion home provider. And he joins us today because I recognize there's something unique about him in his presence and in his heartfulness. If you're liking being here today on the program, what I'd like you to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel. And also, if you hit the little notification bell every time we have a new program, that's every week for the rest of the year, you'll be notified and we'll get to be together. My intent and commitment is to help you have solutions for your well-being and to be able to learn from others how to live your best life. That's what the Sterling Spin is all about. And I'm Liz Sterling and inviting you back to continue our conversation about learning and curiosity and being a Sag and always wanting to know more. And so did you get into good trouble when you were a kid in your curiosity?
You know what? I was always a good kid. Parents never had any troubles with me, but well, I ain't gonna say that.
Hang
But,
on a second, Liz. Wait a second. Modification
of course
to what I
did.
said. Edit.
Kids will be kids, and you made some messes. You got into trouble. You did this. So yeah, I got into a little bit of trouble, but not
So
too
you
much.
live and you learn.
Exactly.
All right, take us up to what you have, photographs that you have transferred onto canvas. And so when did you start photography, formally or informally?
I took it as a flute class in high school. My senior year in high school, I needed an elective, so photography was the best thing. Went into the dark room, loved it. My dad gave me a camera. I just took it out walking and just discovered a lot of different things. Discovered that I love being behind the camera.
As a photographer, what happens when you're behind the lens? What goes on?
You see something beautiful, you see something nice, you see something weird, interesting. you want to capture that moment just to hold it there as long as you possibly can. And when you have that photograph with you, you can always go back to that place. You can always go back to that location, that time to experience it again. So like this right here, this was taken in here in Sawhill Ponds. That is 9 Watt area.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite places. It whenever I have some issues, no matter what they are, whether I'm happy, sad, frustrated, I can go there with my camera or just by myself, take a walk and have it has, I want to say maybe 8 or 9 ponds. It's like
Wow.
2 locations together. There's Sawhill Ponds and Walden Ponds. Walden Ponds is the natural reserve,
Right.
and Sawhill Ponds is just walking
I have
trails.
to tell you something really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I was taken there last week.
Oh, yeah?
For the same exact reason, the woman that took me to these double 2 ponds, she's like, this is my go-to place. All I have to do is sit here and I feel so at one and peaceful and I can see the ducks and the birds and the habitat. And she said, it doesn't matter, winter, spring, summer, or fall.
Winter, spring, summer, yes.
How wonderful that you have like a go-to place that you know is going to bring you a feeling of
Peace. I'm a country boy. I was born in southwest Georgia, and we were always in the yard, always riding around on go-karts or motorcycles or 3-wheelers or something with my cousins. So naturally, I've always been drawn to water. So when I found, and I love mountains. I love the mountains. So once I found Sawhill Ponds and Walden Ponds, that was it for me.
So you're a happy camper there.
I'm a happy camper.
So this is a piece of art. Photography is definitely a beautiful piece of art. It's funny because I never thought of myself as an artist, and I was told you cannot draw, don't even think about it. But when I picked up a camera, I had a whole different feeling. I was like, oh, wow, I can get a nice picture here and there. And I never went any further. I never did any developing. But there's a feeling like when you pick up your camera today or when you pick up your phone and you take a picture, you get a feeling, something comes back. It's like I captured something that's really special. And so I know that special feeling that you get. Now, speaking of something special, you have...
I show them in a different perspective.
Right. So
this is a reflection at one of the ponds at Sawhill Ponds, and this is beautiful in its own right. But I normally show them in this version because it has a totally different view to it. I call this the samurai.
I can see him. I
Because
can
right up
see.
here in the face, you got 2 eyes, a nostrils, and a mouth that's open.
Absolutely.
The corners right here are like the helmet of a samurai's
Right. He's got
head.
like a big
Helmet on.
helmet on top, and you can see the top of the helmet.
Yes.
And it like goes up to the heavens. You know, I can only imagine that the helmet opens to the heavens.
And then even with this is the middle line with the pond here and the shoreline here, and just the reflections that are in the body, you find so much more. So much more.
I totally feel like I'm going into the center of the earth. And I also feel as if there's like past, present, and potentially future that also shows because you've got the sky on both sides. It's what made you turn it around? How did that happen?
I lived in Georgia for years. I was coming from my hometown of Smithville, driving back home to Atlanta, and I just wanted to stop at this underpass that I saw, and it was just like, okay. And I'm gonna change this out. I found this image under the overpass, and I just love the colors in it. The blues, the browns, the greens, the tans. And it was just, just a photograph.
It's really nice.
And
Just
then,
a photograph.
Just a photograph. And then I was on a computer one day in one of my classes, and I was just going through, and then
Same.
same thing. I was just going through, and it was on the landscape side, and
I
I
see
saw
another man.
Yes, there's a huge, huge face.
Wow.
I call this the Natural Totem, and even from the start of the photograph to the
Right.
bottom,
Right.
there's images. Where there's a human face, where there's animals, where there's...
It's like a totem. It really is. Wow.
This was actually the very first one that
What
I
do you
saw.
think about this?
Had chills. I mean, I literally had chills when I saw that face. When you see a landscape and then you all of a sudden see a face in front of you, that's kind of like, oh, what's
What
going
the-
on?
Is
You
it?
know?
Does it talk to you? Does it say something? What's the communication to you when you design something, a piece of art, and then when you change the position of it, there's something else that's eternal.
It may sound funny, but it just goes to show you we're not, I don't want to say not alone, but there's things on this earth that we need to be aware of and need to be accounting for and take care of.
Yeah.
Because what is it? Literally, these are people and animals of the earth that is just being reflected in water.
So that's the message. The message is we have to care for our earth, the people, the animals, and everything that's part of the earth because we're part of it. And if we're not the ones to take care of it, who is? Who's going to do that? And things will come to us as a surprise, like when you least expect it, something will show up, and it gives life a little bit more meaning and purpose. And I know you said before, as a Sagittarian, you were looking for, to fulfill your curiosity so that you could be a student of life and that you could learn each and every day.
I love photography, and then the next step was moving to the moving camera, the film cameras. So I've got in contact with a few people, and they told me about this place, Longmont Public Media, and it's been great ever since. I've been
You're
learning
having
how to do.
fun?
I've been having fun.
Yeah.
Yes, really.
That's one thing I see in you is like you really, when we were on the photo shoot, it was so much fun. And I watched you do another photo shoot and you were like laying on the floor and upside down and taking pictures and getting props. And, you were seeing the way to create art through movement, through change, through perception. You have a pretty incredible pair of lenses in your eyes, aside from the glasses.
A little
that
extra
you're wearing.
lens doesn't hurt,
A little extra, yeah. So we're coming toward the end of the program, and I want to give you a chance to talk about what impact you would like to have when somebody thinks of Aldo Johnson. What's the impact that you want to leave? What's the message that you want them to have, or the feeling that you want them to have? Your legacy, if you will.
Just get to know me. You'll find a lot. You'll find that I'm a cool, easygoing person, and just have a mind, and I have a soul, and I have some creativity.
It's really funny. Like here I am, I'm with this really serious question like, okay, how do you want people to see you? What do you want your legacy? And you're like, I'm just cool, man. I'm just
Pretty
really
much,
cool.
yeah.
So, and you really are.
No, thank you.
So I thank you so much. You've been sitting with us at the table. We've had a chance to learn about your personal belief system, your philosophy, your artistic, creative work. There's jewelry happening also at the same time.
Yeah. I love natural stones. I used to work at I want to say a rock shop, but it was a jewelry shop that sold natural stones. And it was, I just fell in love with it. And I wanted to purchase some bracelets or things that I could wear, but could never find anything that would fit my arm.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
big
just
guy.
decided to make my own. So yes,
So it's like
these
what
little
you're wearing.
bracelets here. Yes, for the larger wrist person.
I'm
shall I
wearing a
say.
bracelet and it's a little small, so you've got an idea. I was wondering, like, you seem to me to be somewhat intuitive, that you can know people or sense them. And stones, I understand, have certain energies that can enhance a person or give them, help them to feel stronger or have strength or be able to endure. Could you, like if I said, Aldo, could I commission you to make a bracelet for me that you think would be like good for my spirit,
100%.
for my soul? You could make one something just for me?
Just for you, 100%, yes.
And what would you imbue it with? What would you put into it?
I would need your birth date,
Okay.
where you were born, and the time you were born. And I can put it in the algorithm, and it'll come up with stones that are good for you.
Let's do that.
All right.
Wow, that sounds fabulous. I'm so excited. Well, I thank you so much for being with us. This is the beginning. It's not necessarily the end. That means maybe we'll get you back here in the studio again. I'll have a chance to talk more as you see life from the inside out. I see you as someone who really is very at peace with yourself. I sense that you take life in, you take it in pretty deeply. You're a really good assessor of people, places, and things. You know what you like to take care of yourself. Boy, you would think I'm channeling or something like that. I really feel like you've given me a lot of you today for your first interview.
Oh, thank you.
I thank you so much. And one last question, and that is, do you have a personal quote or words that you live by every day?
I sign this with every letter. I got this from a trip I took to Jamaica. Peace, love, unity, and respect.
There you go. For sure. Peace,
Love, unity, and respect.
and respect. Thank you. I know you give that.
Thank you.
And I receive it too. Thanks. You've been listening to the Sterling Spin podcast, and I'm Liz Sterling. You like what you hear? You like what you see? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which you're watching through YouTube right now. And that's at the Sterling Spin. That's the @ sign, the Sterling Spin. Also, if you see a little bell, you can hit the bell. And every time we have a new show, you will be notified. We're going to just be rolling out shows every single week. Aldo, you may be behind the camera sometimes,
Yes.
so that'll be really cool. And I want to thank Ryan, my sound engineer. Thank you so much. And of course, Anthony, producer, thank you, who's been taking pictures and making shorts in the background. This is Liz Sterling. Thank you. We'll see you again.